All right, everybody. Max Rich here. I am demoing some excellent guitars today. The first of which is called the Hurricane by George Bisceglia. He's a fantastic builder from up in Northern California. And this guitar in particular has some really cool features that I've never really encountered or haven't encountered all that often. The first cool feature of which is that it belongs to Dave Meniketti. Pretty sweet. And it's been all over the world, kind of touring with the man, you know, the man himself. But here I am playing it for you guys today. And the first really cool thing that you notice when you pick up the guitar is that these like super narrow single coil pickups that aren't actually single coil pickups. They just kind of look like it. They they're Seymour Duncans, and they're really small humbuckers that kind of get like a really narrow field sound pickup. And the cool thing about that is that it sort of behaves like a little bit like a single coil that might be stacked, but not really, because a stacked single coil doesn't have the snap that this one does. You know, if you're listening, you know. You get that single coil snap that you don't really get out of normal humbuckers, but at the same time you get this wider range, this wider field pickup. And the second really cool thing that I don't know if you noticed me doing it, halfway through that little E minor funk thing I was playing, I flicked this little red switch. And this is something really cool that I haven't encountered, and that's a preamp circuit built into the guitar. So with it off in the down position, the preamp is off, and you just have your normal kind of guitar sound, and then you pop that bad boy on, and all of a sudden you have a lot more beef, a lot more meat in the dish. And basically, I mean, personally, I could find a lot of uses for this. You know, you can go all the way from your kind of standard crunch sound, you know, your rhythm playing. You got this. And you can take that one notch higher. And all of a sudden you flip that preamp on and you've got some really beefy tones. And the variety of tones you get on the clean are really kind of crispy. You get on the bridge pickup with the preamp off, you can hear the harmonics, and then you flip that thing on, and you can get them a lot clearer. Now you take that one step further with some gain. And all of a sudden, you got some serious tone involved. And if you, once again, preamp off now, we're on the middle pickup selector, and you get this like really kind of light and almost delicate sound. And then this thing on, and all of a sudden you're in and you have a lot beefier kind of a tone involved in the middle pickup, which is combining all of these, or both of these humbucking pickups. And then once again on the neck, with no preamp, and then with the preamp, and you have just what I consider probably the best tone in this whole guitar. I like the most is the neck pickup with this preamp on, and maybe the tone rolled back just slightly. And you get just really kind of a beefy, clean sound. And you kick on the gain. And now you're like in ripping Shredville, basically, is where you're sitting. And this guitar has a lot to offer. It's got a really cool 24 3/4 inch scale, which is sort of like in between like a Les Paul and a Strat, which helps give it that snappy feel that I was talking about. You know, but at the same time retaining the sustain and power that you get from, like, you know, maybe a longer scale with humbuckers. So this is, if I were to say, you know, maybe you have like a one-stop shop here for like a huge amount of tones, from rock to you know, all kinds of maybe clean. You can even get probably like country sounds out of this bad boy here. You know, you get this like you get that nice, really fat country twang sound. You know, you can roll that thing back a little. And, you know, you've got a lot of different colors to choose from. So if you're kind of a musician that considers yourself an artiste with a palette of colors that you need, you got pretty much everything right here. So check out some action for yourself online. Check out the Hurricane and see what it can do for you.